What you say, what I hear says, women from other countries are starting YouTube channels advertising their country's advantages of visiting to meet their women. They want men. Did you just put an 8-ball? I don't know what to do. Lord have mercy. I don't know what to do, y'all. Even Ricky is done. I don't know. You're not sorry. You're not fucking sorry.
Okay, so it looks like it's about that time again. We got another Passport Bro episode, another one. Now, how did all of this get started? Well, first of all, if you're tuning in for the first time and you don't really understand what's happening with the Passport Bros, let me just basically make it like this clear. What ended up happening was, in a video that I just recently did, there was a girl named the Filipina P, and she has a YouTube channel. And she's from the Philippines, and obviously she's very attractive. She's about 30-something years old. I'm not exactly sure exactly how old. But for the most part, she decided to dip her toe into the whole Passport Bro battle that's going on right now here in America, basically between liberal feminism that has decided that what it's going to do is use hypergamy and it's going to use shaming tactics in order to attack men, and they basically decided that some of them say that they're divesting specifically from black men because, see, the Passport Bros are basically black men. There are, white men have been Passport Bros forever, but the term Passport Bros, because, black people make everything cool. It all applies to black men who are going abroad and dating overseas or finding wives and marrying them after dating overseas. So basically, I made this video right here about the Filipina P's video. And one thing I'd like to point out that pisses me off a lot. If you notice, this video, 7 days ago, this video got 12,000 views thus far. The YouTube algorithm, which I've kind of pointed out already, is favoring Passport Bro videos. It's favoring them, right? So if you make a video about Passport Bros, you're definitely going to get more traction. So what's happening is a lot of females now, regardless what side of the situation they're on, they're making videos about the Passport Bros. So either they're making videos to attack the Passport Bros, or they're making videos to support the Passport Bros. Or in the case that you just saw of Donika Marie, they're making some videos where they're basically... there's a movement right now called, what is it called? Stab. And it means steal the men back or something like that. Stab, they call it stab. And they're talking about stabbing men, stab as in a verb, but they're saying steal the men back. I forget what the acronym means because when I first heard it, I thought it was dumb. But there are some females out there who feel that they don't want men leaving and they don't want men going abroad and finding these other women. Now, it gets actually more interesting than that. And I'm not going to talk about this too long because I want to get back to these little video clips. If you take a look at Black Filipino, the last video was mine, but if you take a look at Black Filipino, he put out a video just recently where you have a Filipino girl, and I know this guy, his name's Jay. I've been on his channel a couple of times. The next time I'm in the Philippines, maybe I might meet up with him. But this Filipino right here is basically saying, listen, if these women are treating you bad in your country and you want to come to the Philippines and you want to meet a Filipino or something, they'll treat you like kings. Like, I'm going to just go right here real quick and turn up the volume.
Can understand that Asian or many Filipinas are attracted to black men.
I gotta turn off.
Why can't you just accept that the black man that you don't like is wanted in the Philippines? And the fact that these guys don't want to be with you, that means they are not being treated like a king. And why settle for someone who don't want to treat you like a king when you can go to the Philippines and be treated like one?
Thank you. So, If you have, he's in the Philippines. Now, mind you, this is a black man who moved to the Philippines and he married a Filipina. So he's actually married there. And a lot of black men are saying, yeah, if they get married, they don't want to bring their wives back to America because they think America will destroy them and ruin them, right? So this is his channel. So you should subscribe to his channel. I've been on his channel. He has 53,000 subscribers. So if you're a passport bro and if you don't recognize him, you don't know him, you should subscribe to his channel. Now, that Filipina brings up a very good point. And I'd also like to point out that now that Filipina right there that we just saw in that video, that is a real Filipina, right? This is the perfect instance where they say don't judge a book by its color. Because if you were to look here at this other video that popped up in response or at least around the same time as the Filipina P, this chick right here, who's Korean American, she looks ethnically Korean, but she herself basically says that she is raised white and she identifies white. This is the reason why they say don't judge a book by its cover. Just because somebody looks like something doesn't mean you know what they are inside. It's just like me. If you were to look at me, you'd think that I'm just your typical Democrat voting, whatever you want to call me. That's just a stereotype based on the way I look. You never know that I'm a Republican unless you listen to the shit that I say. You never know I'm a registered Republican. So again, you can't judge a book by its cover. You would never know about all the degrees I have. You'd never know about all the travel I've done. You'd never know about me flying airplanes and shit and having exotic hobbies. You'd never know. You don't judge a book by its cover. Now, she put her toe into this, and she's been making passport bro videos for a while. Like, she's been calling out passport bros. When the passport bros call me racist, blah, 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 stitch incoming. And the thing about it is, there's a method of making videos on TikTok called stitching, where basically you make a video where you interject pieces of your video into the conversation in order to basically debunk or refute what the person is saying. And she's been attacking passport bros for a while. And then she's also been speaking on a lot of black issues. Like I see right here, it says, monopolize black hair beauty supply products. So here you got a Korean American who identifies as white, and she's been speaking on these issues. So the first thing you say is, well, what the hell do you have to do with black men traveling to other countries, specifically South America or Southeast Asia or whatever it is? You're not even a true identified Asian woman. You look Asian, but you're not. So Fantastic right here, Mr. Fantastic. I don't know if you're on his videos, but Mr. Fantastic,
here will be,
let me just do this. Mr. Fantastic called her imitation rice a little while ago, and he has a video right now that he's doing live right now. He says she's Ho Kim. What is it? No Country for Ho Kim, right? So he's doing his video right now where he's dissecting this shit. And ultimately, the reason why her video caught so much traction is because, unlike the rest of these strags that are making their videos, she's actually somewhat attractive if that's what you're into. However, because she dipped her toe in, now the truth is coming out about her. She's 35 or so years old, and she's a baby mama, a single mom. That's what I just heard. I was looking for, what is it called? Not just proof, but I was looking for any videos of her with her kids, which I probably wouldn't show because you shouldn't put kids and stuff on here. But here's the reason. You wonder why. Why are you involved in this? Why did you dip your toe in this? Oh, well, I'm a woman and I feel it necessary to protect women, and if women have been... No. Now you find out that the reason why KK31387 is so upset is because she's a single mom. So I don't know what race or ethnicity the kid is, but she's obviously sitting on a lot of anger. So this is the problem. These single moms are angry because they're seeing that the passport bros are leaving this country. The passport bros were supposed to be regular average men who would have been their backup plan, their plan B. And these passport bros who are now getting their passports and leaving, these men were supposed to stay behind and were supposed to accept their sloppy seconds and were supposed to be stepdads to their kids after they've gone out, done their whole summers, and they've had these kids, and now they need father figures or they need help paying those bills. So now the truth's coming out. The truth is coming out. She's blowing up right now because now everybody saw her video. They thought, oh, yeah, she's cute and this, that, and the other. And she tried to basically make herself. She's like, oh, yeah, well, I'm 5 foot. Well, let me turn this sound shit off. Yeah, so she says she's 5'5", 170 pounds. Now, technically, she's overweight, but I'm not holding that against her. I'm just saying some people might say that. Some people, especially if you're an Asian chick who's thinner than that, because most Asian chicks who are 5'5" are usually around like 140 or 150. And I've met some who are like 100 pounds or less, like they're skinny as rails. And I've lived in Asia, so I lived in China. I stayed in South Korea, so I know what those women look like over there. Some of them are openly attacking her and saying, yeah, you're fat and this, that, and other. Of course, as a black man with a little bit of extra poke pole, we don't mind a little bit of extra pounds, if you know what I'm saying. So the reality is she's up there saying, oh, yeah, I got all these black men in my DMs. I got all these black men calling me and in my DMs and this, that, and the other. So she put her mouth into this, and now it looks like she's going to suffer the consequences because it's like I think somebody basically is doxing her. I don't know if that's true or not, but the thing about it is they're up there sharing her information saying, yeah, she's a 35-year-old single mom. So now you're seeing where this anger and this energy is coming from. And it's so sad because the thing about it is the passport bros are looking for dating and marriage overseas. I'm not talking about Pookie and Ray Ray with a passport who go to Dominican Republic or who go to close places for $400 or $500 and they're just going there for sex tourism, which, by the way, there are plenty of women here, white women traveling to Africa for sex tourism. You may have seen them on 90 Day Fiance, for example. Like, where's that? 90 Day Fiance Nigeria white woman. Like, yeah, Nigerian man and white woman. It comes right up. I love these search things. See this? This is what sex tourism right here looks like when you're talking about women doing it. That's what it looks like. You see that? Take a good look. You see that? That's what it looks like. But the women, they don't talk about them doing it. They don't talk about them doing it. What about those, women, sex tourism. Yeah, they do it all the time. When you hear of a woman, and I've seen this in real life, when you hear these women and they go into these countries, and you be like, why are you going to that country? And you be like, oh yeah, well, I'm just going there, but I'm trying to find myself. Or I'm just going there because I wanna see what Jamaica looks like. This is what Jamaica looks like. It looks like Dexter. It's like, hey, baby, what you talking about? Why don't you bring that bomber-clad body over here, boy? Why don't you bring that bomber-clad, blue-eyed white girl body over here, boy? Because, Jamaicans always sucking on their teeth because they be eating that oxtail and stuff and be leaving stuff in their teeth. This is what I'm talking about. So, see, they're talking about passport bros going to Sasua, but they ain't talking about this. They ain't even trying to talk about this. We've got videotape of this hot girl summer. And let me tell you something, the rabbit hole gets pretty deep. So don't let them fool you. It ain't just passport bros. They're going over there for their little sex tourism, right? But here's the difference, though. Passport bros are trying to marry these women. These chicks are going over there for their tourism, but they are so hypergamous that they ain't really trying to bring these guys back here. That's the difference. First of all, everybody on this show, this 90 Day Fiance, everybody knows that as soon as this guy gets here, he's going to divorce her ass. The only thing this Nigerian man wants from her, and even his boys said it on the show, is that he's going to get that passport, he's going to get his visa, all paid for, financed by this chick, and when he gets here, He's dumping her ass. And that right there, it's not exactly human. Look at this, Usman and Lisa. I saw this one too. You saw that one, Usman and Lisa? See, I love watching 90 Day Fiance. It's like sometimes I'd be watching with my chick. We'd be watching on Saturday night, and they have the marathon going, and we're watching it and making fun of that shit. But the thing about it is, this is the reality. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this right here. Look at this. Look at this, buddy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. This guy looked like Eric Killmonger right there. And she went over there and snatched herself up. What do they call him? What's the name? What do they call us when we're big like that? What is it called? Dingalo? Not dingalo. This is another word, and it's coming back to me. Diggler, not Dirk Diggler, but there's another word where they shit. I don't know why I'm at a loss for words. I got to start making a script or something. What do they call it? It'll come back to me. But anyway, this is the truth right here. You see this? That's what you're looking at right there. That's what you're looking at. See, they don't want to talk about that. They just want to insult the passport bros and say all types of horrible things about us and make us out to be something we're not. Meanwhile, this is what they're doing. Look at that. Look at that right there. That's what they're doing. They're going down there looking for Dexter Jackson. Look at that. Look at her face. Look at her face. She's like, yeah, I got Dexter. Look at her. I'm having the baby in Ethiopia. Look at that. You see that face? Shit, I should make that a thumbnail. Look at that. Look at that face. Look at that. She's like, yeah, once you go black, you're going to need a wheelchair. That's what look at her face. Look at her face. Look at this. She made the man wear Trump underwear. Look at this. Look at her face. She's like, yeah, I got Dexter. I got Dexter Jackson up in here, boy. Yeah. Look at her face. Look at it. See, they don't want to talk about this. They don't want to talk about this. She bought her Nigerian man Donald Trump boxes. Think about that for a second. This chick go over to Nigeria, snatches herself up. One of these black kangs in Nigeria. Kang. I didn't say king. I said kang. And put some Trump boxes on him. And now look at her face. Look at that. Look at her face. Look, just looking at her face. You know what's going on over there. Look, imagine all of the things that this man has to do in order to be her passport bro. Look, imagine all the things that this man has to do. Just look at her face. You know what she's doing to that man. You know exactly what she's doing. She's making that man perform all types of debauchery. Look at this, Karen Vite. Look at this. Look at what they're doing. They snatching us up. Look at this. Look at this guy. The obsession with black men and haggard white women. Damn, that's messed up. That is dirt. That is grimy. Look at this. You see what I'm talking about? Oh my God. I don't know if Martin Luther King dreamed about all this. I don't know. Look at this right here. Look at this. Look at her face. Look at her face. Imagine all of the things that man right there is being forced to do. Is woman who says she had spent $500,000 on a relationship with husband who lives in Nigeria still. And you want to accuse the passport bros of wrongdoing?
Ladies, this is why I've been going so hard. Y'all didn't understand my love. Y'all didn't understand what I was trying to do. I was trying not to allow it to get to this motherfucking point. Y'all thought I was just being a male-identified, pick-me-ass, hoe-ass bitch, when all I was trying to do was show you, teach you, encourage you to be the type of woman that the man that you wanted desired. Now they're all sharing success stories, and it does not involve you.
All right, so let's watch the video in question.
So I know a lot of these passport bros, and especially black men, are in my comments asking me why I'm talking about this. It's not my fight. And before anything, I'm a woman.
Oh shit.
So I know a lot of these passport
I
bros,
rolled the
and
goddamn
black
mouse
men
button.
are
My
in
fault.
Comments asking me why I'm talking about this. It's not my fight. And before anything, I'm a woman, so I'm always going to stand up for women regardless of race.
So here we go with this whole stand up for women thing. First of all, yeah, number one, it's not your fight, number one. But in the fact that she says that she identifies as white, basically, she, as a liberal feminist, which is what we're talking about, which is really the problem here. This is the underlying problem. She claims that it's a necessity for her to go and fight for other women and this, that, and other, right? She's out here fighting for women, right? So just keep that in mind. Hold on.
And one thing that really bothers me about this is these same passport bros are the men who probably tried to hit on me in the US before they realized that we don't like them either.
Okay, when you say we, who is this we? I don't know who the we is when you say we don't like them. When you say we, are you talking about single moms that don't like passport bros? Because if that's the case, then okay, I fully understand. Because you're a single mom, so, you know.
I'm from a town that really doesn't have that many Asian women, especially Asian...
That could be anywhere. That could be like freaking North Dakota.
Women who look like me. Like I said, you guys, I'm adopted. I grew up in a white family in the Midwest, so I have no beauty standards from South Korea. I'm a thick...
Now, just listen to that right there. Now, you see, this is actually a red flag right there. So understand something. And as I'm a black male, and I've dated a lot of Asians, and I'm probably going to end up marrying an Asian woman, not an Asian American. Hell no. But that's a red flag right there. My cultural diversity teacher told me that like, what did they say? Everybody who's your color is not your kind. You can't judge a book by its cover. Do not mess with these American ones at all. If you want an Asian woman because you appreciate the culture, let's say you're one of these Japanese otakus or whatever it is, and you want to go over to Japan because you like anime so much, you want to be Mega Man or something, I don't know. Go to Japan, stay there for a while, because the thing about it is in Japan, women don't have a lot of time to date because they work a lot. So you're going to have to stay there. You're going to have to put in some serious groundwork, ground time, and meet somebody. You go to there and you get one there. Same thing goes for South Korea. The women in South Korea are more and more becoming, because of capitalism, they're becoming more and more feminist ultimately. See, the problem is, as much as I love capitalism, I do recognize that what it does is it puts women in competition with men more often than what we came out of. Agrarian culture, socialism, this, that, and the other, and forms of it. Because you also have to remember, if you go to most of these countries, they're mostly socialist. You go to China, it's obviously socialist communist. If you go to parts of Philippines, you go to Thailand, most of the Southeast Asian countries, look at Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. Most of those countries have a very socialist culture for the most part. It's mostly patriarchy that has slowly morphed towards socialism. China is flat out claiming that they're communists, although their practices look more like socialism, a nationalized socialism, more so than communism, because as you know, there's plenty of free market economic business going on in China. So all I'm saying is this. If you want to meet one of these women, go to their country and get one there. What a lot of people are saying, which you almost have to agree with, is if you do meet one, keep her over there. So that means you live there, she lived there, and you could be the next otaku or whatever the hell you are, and you got a samurai robe and you live right over there, and you sleep on the floor in Japan, and this, that, and other. You got like a little rice mat, and you sleep on the floor. You got those little sliding doors that they have in the ninja movies. If you want to do that, go over there and stay there. If you want a Filipina, go to Philippines, meet one, stay there in the Philippines. The issue that you're seeing is a lot of people, which you almost have to agree with, they're saying don't bring her back here. Now, one of the reasons why you don't want to bring her back here is because some other men or women, it depends who you bring back, will try to hit on her. And that's why some people are like, yeah, don't bring her back here. Another reason why you wouldn't want to bring her back here is because you run the risk of her becoming this. That's what you do not want.
Woman, I weigh about 165 pounds. I'm 5.
Okay, so you say 165 here, but I saw 170 and then I saw something somewhere else. So I think you're lying. That's number one. And then again, you're a woman, so I expect you to lie about your weight. So that's not too much of a surprise.
5, so honestly, the brothers like to holler, and they still do. Regardless of what some men in the comments are trying to say, that black men aren't checking for Asian women. Yeah, right.
Okay, first of all, yeah, that's not true. Black men are checking for Asian women. However, the current passport bros dynamic that I see is black men going to South America, specifically Colombia, Brazil, Dominican Republic, and the Caribbean. Or what I've noticed is, I've noticed black men don't want to go to Puerto Rico. Now, I'm not sure if that's because of the cost of living in Puerto Rico or it's because they think Puerto Rican women are too quote unquote white. Because, I mean, there are the, Taino and the natives that are more, how should I say, they're more traditional and they're more provincial, like they live in provinces, they live agrarian lifestyles. But I've noticed black men just don't go to Puerto Rico. Maybe, I don't know what that is, but it seems black men are chasing them Dominicans. I got an uncle, got himself a Dominican. That chick's 14 years younger. They got married back in 2011. They got 3 kids. They've still been married to this day. So that means they've been married 10 years, which means that if they've been married 10 full years and they show no sign of stopping, their marriage has outlasted the vast majority of marriages between American men and American women. So when you just think about that, and you just look at some of the passport bros that you may have in your own family, and they have lasting marriages where they're able to get a wife and build with her. Why the fuck would anybody want to mess with an American? You know what messing with an American gets you? You know what messing with an American gets you? Let me show you what that gets you. That gets you Kanye West. This is what you get. Where is he? Where is it? Where's the picture I posted this turkey? Oh, yeah, here we go. Here we go. This is what messing with an American woman gets you. First of all, after somebody gets pumped by Ray J on tape, I never would have given her the time of day because every time I'd look at her, the only thing I'd be able to think about is that videotape. And you know which tape I'm talking about. Now you paying $200,000 a month. And I know there's some people like, yeah, well, that's just 2.4 million per year. That's nothing. It's like, you think $200,000 a month is nothing? Yeah, well, do me a favor. Come back to me in 3 or 4 years and then tell me it's nothing. Come back to me in 10 years and tell me it's nothing. Especially after the majority of your supporters and your advertisers and the people who were, basically supporting you and donating to you and this, that, and other, when they've left you, you come back in about 20 years and tell me that $200,000 a month ain't nothing. $3 million a year is what Nick Cannon has to pay. $3 million a year for Nick Cannon, $200,000 a month in child support for Kanye West, which is coming out to $2.4 million per year. So he's paying less than Nick Cannon. However, Nick Cannon has more children. This is what building with an American woman will ultimately get you, and we're seeing it. You can't. That's what it is. Who was the last person who got screwed in divorce court? Wasn't it? What was that dude? Dr. Dre. What was it? Dr. Dre. Child support. Let me just type that. See, just a little keyboard right here. Because his divorce payments were what? Oh, here we go. Dr. Dre ordered to pay Nicole Young $3.5 million a year in spousal support. Do you get my point? This is what I'm talking about. Okay, back to the story.
Check my DMs. But anyway, pretty much every time I met a black man, he thought it would be a flex to say something like, yeah, I like my women foreign.
Now, it sounds to me like you were either messing with a Pookie or a Ray Ray. Now, I've dated Asian women. I've never, not even once, made a comment to her about her being foreign or her being exotic. I've never, ever said that. Not that I think that saying that is racist or discriminatory, but just because to me it sounds a little cringy. Now, a couple of times she's made comments, to me that her friends have asked her what it's like dating a black man and this, that, and other. But I didn't take any offense to that because, I'm not blind. It's like I know that I'm black and, you're yellow and this, that, and other. So I never had a problem with that, but I never made that comment myself. So it sounds to me like you were dating a Pookie or a Ray Ray.
Women exotic. And I don't know why they decided to say that to me, if they thought it would make me feel good or something, but for me, it's always a red flag. And so I would dig in a little bit further and say, well, what do you mean by that? Like, because I'm a white girl on the inside.
You see? That right there could be the end of this video. That right there. My cultural diversity teacher, one of the first things that she explained to us, I think it was like the first day of class. This was way back in 1999. Don't judge people based on how they look, because these people will absolutely surprise you by the way they identify. You know how you hear some people say that there's some Hispanics that think they're white and that there's some Asians who think they're white? And let me be perfectly honest, because maybe you're Hispanic, maybe you're Asian, you're listening to this. One of the things in the black community that I've noticed, that I've observed, is that when white racism turns on you, that's basically when like black people are like, you see, yeah, you thought you were white, now you found out you ain't. When you get beat upside the head or they do something to you as a group, which, you know, there's been a lot of anti-Asian racism, specifically stemming from the COVID quarantine, and it's still going on to this day. However, there are cases, like I saw that there was this Asian guy who was tasing black men and then trying to record it when they beat the shit out of him. Wait, in fact, let me look that up, because I want you to know that I don't make this shit up. Let me see. Asian tasing black men. So what it was there was an Asian man who was targeting black men, and this motherfucker is walking around with a tape. Now, you see the fucking photo. And this is in, what is this, MSN.com news. This is a videotape. This is not some shit I could make up. So what he was doing was he was tasering black men. And then when they beat the shit out of him, he was trying to report it as if they attacked him. And he hadn't done nothing. Now, you see the guy and you see the taser. That's Exhibit A. You see what I'm talking about? So, bottom line is, yes, there has been a lot of unprovoked hate crimes. I'll be the first to admit it. But there also lies the possibility that some of those quote-unquote attacks have been provoked. All I got to say, and I'm not going to put too fine a point on it, let somebody fucking try to tase me on a motherfucking train, or let somebody try to tase me. That's all I got to say. Let somebody try to fucking tase me and put them fucking prongs on me, or somebody shoot me with them fucking darts. Let somebody try to do that shit to me. That's all I'm going to say. Let somebody try to do that shit to me. So anyway, I don't think that'll happen. I don't think that'll happen. That won't happen, because I'm too special for that to happen. That ain't gonna happen. Nobody would do no shit like that to me. I'm going to exist on the train and the bus when I decide to use the train and the bus, and nobody would ever do anything like that to me. I'm sure of it. So anyway, where was I?
My family is white. I grew up in a white community in a small town in the Midwest, so I might look exotic, but
No. See, you don't look exotic. You look Korean. You look ethnically Korean, not exotic. Part of the reason for you thinking that you're something exotic is because white racism wouldn't allow you people to move here in the numbers that a lot of other immigrants have moved here. We used to have what was called the Chinese Exclusion Acts. I can show you that too. I'm going to open up a lot of tabs here, because I can do that. So what is it? The Chinese Exclusion Acts. So here's the thing. They used to have these racist policies called Chinese Exclusion Acts. And basically, long story short, America would invite the people to come here and work from Asia. They invited the Toisanese Chinese to come build railroads. And they invited people from Asia to come and do work, manual labor. What they refused to do was they refused to allow women to come here. They wouldn't allow Asian women to move here. And the reason why they did that is because they knew Asians start families and they would slowly overturn the whiteness of America. So they back then had these Chinese exclusion acts to bring male workers here, and they kept the women back in Asia. Now, here's the thing. A lot of the Chinese men who moved to America ended up marrying black women. Believe it or not, it's true. So they ended up marrying black women because they didn't have Asian women to marry here, specifically the Chinese, the Toysonese, they were building the railroads, so forth and so on. So the reality is, you're not exotic, and I'll give you your cute. In fact, I really thought I would have given you probably about 8 up until I found out you were a single mom. Now you get a 0. Sorry. So anyway, you're not exotic. You are just something we don't see very much. We don't see, it depends where you are, but, Korean women who sound like you do, who identify like you do, that's something we don't see that much. You're not exotic, though. Absolutely not. You know what exotic is? Exotic is if we get green women like on Star Trek, like with, like what was it, the Star Trek green women? If we get those, that's exotic. Like, where is it? Star Trek green girl. Yeah, there we go. Star Trek green girl 2009. Yeah. So if we get that, now that's exotic. You, however, are not. You're not. You're just not. Yeah, there we go. Kirk and Gala. Her name was Gala. So that was Captain Kirk laying it down. And then Gala is green. Or she's a green white woman or something like that. That is exotic right there. Now, most people would say, oh, yeah, I'd never mess with no green woman. Let me tell you something. If Martians came here, well, there's no real life on Mars as far as we know. But if Martians came over here and they had women that look like this and they just happen to be green, there'd be a whole lot of half black, half white, and half Hispanic green children walking around this earth. I promise you that. So you can stop fronting and stop the cap. So anyway, let's get back to this.
I'm Wonder Bread white on the inside.
I'm Wonder Bread white on the inside. It kind of makes me wonder, how do you know what a white person feels like on the inside? If you're going to tell us that this is what you are, and you're trying to identify with that, considering that you can never be that, and you'll never be treated as that, how would you know? That's my question. But I'm a little too logical.
Anyway, whenever these guys would say this, I'd be like, well, you're about to be in for a big disappointment if you're expecting a submissive South Asian to take care of you. But it really bothered me when these guys would say, yeah, I don't like black women, because that's what it always came down to.
So you're worried about them telling you that they don't like black women, and they're explaining to you why they're talking to you in the first place? Sounds like you're just one of these Karens who's trying to look for reasons to be offended.
That they didn't date black women, regardless if they're
Me personally, I don't date single moms.
black or not. And their moms are black, their sisters are black, their cousins are black. I'm like, would you say this to their face? That's weird. So I kind of pick and prod after
I've told single moms to their face that I don't date single moms. I've told them specifically that I'm not interested in being a stepdad. Being a stepdad is like financing another man's orgasm. That's what I've actually told them that. I've been called pig. I've been called, what is it called? Male chauvinist and this, that, and other. And then I got back into my expensive car and I drove away.
already decided, yeah, I'm done with this. I'm out, because anybody who says something like that just is an immediate red flag. But it always came down to the same.
To me, single moms are a red flag.
Stupid stereotypes that black men always have to say about women. They're loud, they're masculine, they don't know how to treat a man, they wear fake hair. So what? So what? You don't have to put down an entire race of women because you have a preference. And
I don't think black men are putting down an entire race of women, so much so that they are putting down women who wear fake hair, septum rings in their nose with boogers and snot all over the ring, fake nails that look like velociraptor claws from Jurassic Park 3. I really don't think they're putting down a race of women. I think they're putting down women in general who do these things. I don't think it's just specifically one race, because I think if they were allowed to widen their net, they would say that they don't like that from other women as well. I'm pretty sure the 5 main things that these men are complaining about: fake hair, fake nails like raptor claws, septum rings specifically, that's really disgusting because it's like you got boogers and snot coming out of your nose all over this nasty ass ring that's in your nose, and you're not even like a tribal woman. You're not like, what are you trying to look like? You look like you have like a door knocker, like a cowbell, like what is that thing? A cow, the ring that goes around the cow's nose, a bull ring. What do they call that? Ox bow. Yeah, it's like we don't want to see that. We don't want to see that. So that's another thing. Children by another man and high body counts. I think those five are probably like, the most that men are going to complain about. I'm pretty sure about it.
Honestly, like, I've dated pretty much every race.
So here's my question. Since you dated every race, I would like somebody else to answer this question. What race is that single baby or baby daddy or whatever it is who gave you that single baby kid from the baby daddy? Because it's one thing for you to just talk about the dating that you've done, which is also brings me to the question, why are you making videos in your bathroom? Like, I see your shower head right there. My shower head's better than yours because I've got the one with the hose where you can pull it off and then you can spray down in every nook and cranny. I don't know why you're making a video in the bathroom, though. That's kind of just ridiculous because it's like when those women be making videos in the bathroom and they don't realize that the mirror reflects the video and sometimes you see poop in the toilet. It's like, why can't you just make this video in like the living room or something? I don't know. But anyway, what race is your kid and why are you so angry at men? That's my question.
Ethnicity. I'm Ms. Worldwide when it comes to dating. Only common denominator is black hair and dark eyes usually, but I've never heard any group of men put down their own women more than I've heard black men do it. And
so what you're telling me is that you've never heard white men. First of all, I'd like to point out something. The whole manosphere, that whole idea about the manosphere, as far as I'm concerned, that got started by Al Bundy back with No Ma'am, as far as I'm concerned. This guy right here and this show, as far as I'm concerned, No Ma'am, Al Bundy, this is the real manosphere right here. The Church of No Ma'am. I don't know if y'all remember that. See, I was born in the 80s, so I remember this. The Church of No Ma'am. You're saying that you've never seen black men... you've never seen anybody do it more than black men? I don't think anybody holds a candle to the misogyny that you're talking about over white men. I think white men have written the book and the television show. Because think about the black shows that were on during this time. You had Bill Cosby, who's been maligned since he went after young black males and told them to pull up their pants and stop using the N-word. As soon as he came out as conservative, liberal media basically came out after him. They had everybody and their mama saying that he attacked them sexually. So the thing about it is, during that same time, this was on. Now, what was Bill Cosby? Bill Cosby was married to a black woman. Bill Cosby had a bunch of black daughters. He had a black son, Theo. And it was all positive. What was Married with Children at that time? And that ran for a long time. Extremely negative. Remember Kelly? Remember how they treated Kelly in the show? And this was written. Kelly was a high body count. The only thing she didn't ever do was get pregnant. But she was high body count. She was written to be the worst possible stereotype of a woman that you could get. Al Bundy was mistreated by Peg, and she didn't cook for him. She didn't clean, and he was working real hard. Some people call him a simp and this, that, and other. And then there's Griff, and he had like a huge, heavy-set black wife and this, that, and other. And that's why he was in No Ma'am. Now, meanwhile, Bill Cosby had positive black images. He had A Different World on. And The Different World's got these black kids going to college. And they're learning trigonometry. You got Dwayne Wayne learning trigonometry and all this. And you're worried about a couple of black men who are disgusted with oxbow rings in your nose, high body counts, babies by other men, fake raptor claws, and fake hair. And you're worried about that. Of course. Right. Let's finish this.
Pursuit of other women. And I just find it really disheartening. And I understand why this divide is getting bigger, but...
No, the divide is getting bigger because liberal feminism has left men with a choice. Either you accept the worst from women or you get your passport and you go overseas and get somebody who look like you, only who identifies as somebody who identifies as one of them over there. That's what the option for men is. Men in no way want to have to spend the money to fly 8,000 and 9,000 miles looking for a wife. What do you think we are? You think we're Canadian geese or some shit? And we've got to travel to mate? We got to fly thousands of miles or something looking for a mate? No. Men don't want to do it. However, men are pragmatic and they will do it if they feel they have to. And that's what it's come down to. If they can't get what they want at home, you're going to have Danica Marie up here crying, talking about, I don't want them to leave. I don't want them to take their cultural and genetic diversity with them, and they're taking their black semen, and the black sperm donors are only 2%. They're only 2% of those sperm donors. If you're listening to this for the first time, because I know I'm getting a lot of new people listening, a couple of days ago, I made a video called America Has a Black Sperm Donor Shortage. Now, I want you to notice something. I only got 1.4 thousand views on that, but because I went into these passport views, suddenly you see the jump to 12,000 views. Now, I've been around a long time. I think I have almost 50 million videos, 50 million views. But what I've noticed is the YouTube algorithm has been only favoring things like this. Everything else, it's like they shut down because what you're dealing with is techno-fascism, where what they do is if they don't like what you're saying, they kind of quiet you down. I'm still going. I'm going to keep doing exactly what I'm doing because I don't just get paid from YouTube. I use YouTube as a tax strategy. It's just like when I'm making these travel videos, because there was one video a little while ago where you got a woman saying, oh yeah, well these black men, they show you their passport, but they don't show you the stamps. Well, instead of me showing stamps, I show the countries that I go to. Like I go over there, make a 4 or 5 hour video about flying to these other countries, just like this one, the real Maldives, where I go to the Maldives, a place most of y'all can't even hope to go because you ain't got no man to take you there, you can't afford it, or you can't get the time off to go there. And I also made one about Seychelles. So this is Maldives business class. And you ain't in business class. You ain't in Dubai in business class. I was. And I will be when I go to Bora Bora, and you ain't going. You're gonna be stuck right here while I'm in business class. So the point is, certain videos YouTube favors. This video only got 1.6 thousand views, and this shit was like 3 hours and 26 minutes long thanks to this iPhone. Meanwhile, you make a Passport Bro video right now, and the Passport Bro videos are favored by the algorithm. Look at this one, 17,000 views. Why black men are getting their passports, 17,000. Look at this one, 16,000. Passport Bros won so much intersectional feminists are losing their goddamn minds. Now, when you make a Passport Bro video, all of a sudden the shit favors the algorithm and then you get lots and lots of views. So my thing is, I'm using YouTube as a tax strategy. So the bottom line is, the money I make off of YouTube, I reinvest into the stock market, not Bitcoin because that shit is whack. And you'll end up like scam, bankrupt, fraud right here. Scam, bankrupt, fraud. You'll end up just like this dude, losing all your money. So basically, I use YouTube as a tax strategy. So when you see me pull up in my electric $70,000 Cadillac that I'm buying with cash money, no loans, no leases, I'm buying it with cash money. When you see me pull up in that $70,000 Cadillac Lyric, that's when you're going to understand. I use YouTube as a tax strategy. So even if the algorithm screws up my views, I still get to file 1099 as a journalist, and I still get to write off my next vacation to Bora Bora, and my next vacation to Singapore, and my next vacation to the Philippines. Yeah. And there's nothing they can do about it.
I don't want to be a part of it. So
you are a part of it. You put your mouth into it. Why don't you bring back your single baby mama's drama kid and make a video about your single baby? And I'd like to know, I want to know, And somebody might already have this information. You can put it into the chat, and I'd love to see it. I want to know what race her kid is. I want to know where this animosity is coming from, because it's a possibility her kid ain't white. I don't know. But anybody who's got that information, feel free to let me know, because I really want to know now. Now that I found out that this chick is basically a fraud, this is imitation rice right here. Now that I found out you're a fraud, I want to see the rest.
Who paid her to make that video? I'm so serious because ain't nobody begging for them to stay. Maybe just her. Like, what is going on? There's actually some women coming together because, it's a lot of brokies that's trying to get their passport, get their stuff together. So it's some women organizing, trying to get them a bus, get them some passports, get them some funds, maybe, to get them some peanuts on the plane, bottle of water, so they can be comfortable on the plane going to wherever they're going to. Honestly, it's just so, I'm getting irritated at this point. Not irritated, but it's really a joke at this point. It's been a joke, but at this point, it's really?
I hate it, and I had to speak on it.
You had to speak on it because you hate it so much. Let me tell you a couple of things. There's a couple of things that I hate that I don't speak out about. Partially because the algorithm will probably give me a fucking red flag or some shit like that. There's a number of things that I hate that I don't speak about. I speak sarcastically about it in jest, but you can't actually you can't really speak about it because they'll shut you down. There's a number of things I hate. So I don't really talk about it, but you went and made the stupid ass TikTok video, and now you've put yourself right in the firing line. But you know what I also have to say? Filipina P did that exact same thing. See, sometimes you got to run towards the fire, So Filipina P made a great video. Where is it? And if she's got 173,000 subscribers. She jumped in subscribers by at least 15,000 subscribers within the past month. And part of it was due to this video, The Men That Choose to Leave. So she only has 151,000 views, but people are talking about her like a dog because they're angry at the fact that she put her mouth into it. So the bottom line is, some of these women, you have to understand, some of them want to be part of this because their channels ain't shit, or their TikToks are boring and nobody's really watching them or giving them any attention. So what it takes is an attractive woman to start talking about something in order to get her numbers up. And that's what it's coming down to. So this one right here, she thought it was all funny and cute and everything. And she thought that by interjecting herself, she thought that she was just going to interject herself. She was going to drive up her numbers, get a couple more subs, get a couple more guys in her DMs. But what she doesn't realize is that what she stepped into was a war. The passport bros versus liberal feminism. She doesn't realize that. Now, I don't think she'll ever be a general. Big Shirley's the general. I don't think she'll ever even be a lieutenant. I don't think she could even be a brigadier or anything. I don't think she could be much. She's a grunt in this. She's a grunt. That's what she is. The passport bros, however, are all generals. It's like there are no grunts as passport bros. We are winning. Let me tell you how much you're winning. I've heard somebody say that when people talk about you, that means you're doing something right. The mere fact that they're angry that they can't get our DNA because America has a black sperm donor shortage, and we're going overseas and we're saying, no, we're not giving you nothing. You can go get it from Brett and Todd and Tim. You can go get it from them. Let me tell you something. We're winning. We are winning. We're going to win this. We are winning. We are winning. They hate the fact we're winning. So what they do, they make all these TikToks. Oh, you're not winning nothing. You're just getting some broad from overseas who's going to leave you as soon as you get a green card. They say the same thing, the same shaming language. Kevin Samuels had something to say about that.
4 signs of a low-value woman. The 4 signs of a low-value woman. First one. She operates a lot in shame. What is shame? Shame, noun, a painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by consciousness wrong or foolish behavior. A low-value woman uses these 4 things to control, manipulate, dominate, get her way, check people, whatever you want to start off. And her first thing is shame. Taking case in point, let's say some of the things when women come to my channel, here's a shaming tactic. They use shaming tactics. Your mama black. You hate women. Shaming tactics. Shame, shame, shame. Shame is one of the 4 major arrows of a low-value woman. It's part of a low-value woman's pathology. You cross the board. I don't care what you have on paper. When women operate in these areas, they diminish their value to low. Because if you really have a good argument, you should not have to shame somebody. Shaming is just a way to get control of the conversation.